Would you apply this program again? This question was asked to the students who went last semester. And this was their answer. 97% said yes, we would do it again. Honorable Deans, fellow students, welcome to the Exchange Program Workshop, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the beginning, allow me to introduce the team who will present this workshop. First, we have Ali Althagafi, who went to Syracuse University in 161. Also, we have Ahmad Alqudaihi, who went to Colorado School of Mines in 171 last semester, and me, Nawaf Alharbi, and I went to Georgia Tech in 171. In the beginning, I would like to start by a relaxing start, and I would like to share with you some pictures, beautiful pictures, which was took last semester by exchange students. This picture was took in Rocky Mountains, Colorado. A picture in Syracuse, New York. A picture in Chicago. America in the winter. The average is high. Relaxing picture in Lake Tahoe, California. KFUPM in the skies of Los Angeles, Griffith Observatory. For 2 minutes, I'd like to talk about the exchange program experience. Now, I can summarize it, and we can summarize it with this brief picture, a picture of iceberg. Now, most of the students, they only see what's above the sea. They only think that they will go and have fun, and the grades will not be affected, and the GPA will not be affected. And that's correct, but it's not the whole picture. Also, the academics, they think that we will go and study in the best universities in the world. And this is true, but it's not the whole picture. Now, Dr. Nadir al-Baghli, he has a very good quote. He once said, the age of 21 is the peak of the learning curve in any human life. So when you go for 6 months, when you are 21, it's equivalent to 2 or 3 years when you are 25. So when you go in the age of 21 and see a different culture, see different people, have a new academic and social experience, face some challenges, and maybe achieve some achievements. This will affect your personality and your life and your view of the world. Now, to return to this question, why 97% would do this experience again if time went back? We have today 4 parts to answer this crucial question. First, we have an academic experience. Then we will talk about the social experience. Then we will show you some challenges and some solutions for those challenges. And we will present to you some achievements to motivate you to be better than us. So we will start by the academic experience. Please help me welcome Ali Althagafi.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ali Althagafi, civil engineering student. I studied at Syracuse University and got several experiences during the program. As you know, education is very, very important to develop and improve the countries and communities. And as we were students in exchange program, we got various academic experiences and so many new educational techniques and tools that we want to apply them here at KFUPM in order to enhance and improve the education, including the research, the learning, the teaching, and anything related to the education. So, I'm going to talk about the academic experience, including 4 main parts: courses, professors, library, and career center. And I'm going to recommend some important points under each part. First of all, the courses. In this part, I'm going to mention some important points. Waiting list for registration. All of you face this problem when you try to register for the course, but the section is closed. Abroad, if you face this problem, you will be put in the waiting list. So once the section is opened, the course will be registered for you automatically. So you don't need to go to deanship building, wait there, or get approval, or worry about registration, because the course will be registered for you automatically once the section is opened. Secondly, the grading policy. All of you know, each course has its own grading policy. The grading policy of the courses there is different from the courses here. For example, the scores distribution. The distribution of the conference scores is almost equal. As you see, the total scores for the exams, including the major and the quizzes, don't exceed 65%. The score of the final exam doesn't exceed 25%. And the distribution of the conference score is equal. As you see here, the example, the left, the total scores for the exams, including the major, the quizzes, and the final, are 55%, less than 65%. The score of the final exam is 20%, less than 25%. And you can see the equal distribution between the scores, 15%, 15%, 20%, and so on. Another example is the grade. Some universities have new grades, like A minus, B minus, C minus, although I don't recommend them because they lower your GPA. A minus is equal to 3.67. B plus is equal to 3.33, not 3.5. B is the same, and so on. Another important point in the courses is teaching labs. A day before the lab, the professor uploads a video about the experiment in the blackboard. So students have to watch the experiment to understand it and come to the lab ready to start the experiment at the time, so they can finish it early. There are many benefits of uploading videos about the experiment. The students will understand the experiment better and finish it earlier. The stress will be reduced with the professors. Some universities, the universities care about the computer softwares, and they offer courses and sessions for the computer softwares such as AutoCAD and MATLAB. Some courses have field trips. This is a field trip for architecture students at Syracuse University. They went to Washington, D.C. and visited museums and art galleries. This is another field trip for mechanical engineering students. They visited air conditioning factory at North Texas University. Now, this is the fall. The courses, some courses are provided in the fall semester or in the spring semester. Students will face some difficulties with the British units, such as inches, feet, and Fahrenheit degrees. In some courses, you may study with PhD and master students in the class. Now, let's move on to the professors and talk about the most important points. The professors have TA, teaching assistant. The TA can correct the homeworks and can teach the class, give a lecture to the students, listen to the professor if he is absent or if he has a conference. Also, the TA has office hours, so if you couldn't go to the office hours of the professors, you can't go to the office hours of the TA. So the TA will reduce the stress and the pressure on the professor. The professors allow students to bring their own formula sheet. The students can write whatever they want in the formula sheet and bring it to the exam. So they don't need to memorize the equations and formulas, because what they need is how and where to use these equations in the exam. Attendance is not mandatory, it's optional. However, we observe that many classes are full of students because the students there feel responsibilities. The professors allow students to bring their drinks, like coffee, tea, and juice, and yeah, even they can bring their breakfast, although I don't recommend the breakfast. In the classroom, the professors use PowerPoint, microscope, and the blackboard. The classrooms have beautiful interior design and different types and shapes of chairs and tables. As you see here, and here are other examples. Flipped classroom. This is a new good idea about the classroom. In the traditional classrooms, the professor comes to the class and explains the concept. So if he has enough time, he will solve the problems. If he doesn't have enough time, he will solve the problems in the next class. But in the flipped classroom, the professor explains the concept in the video and uploads it in the blackboard. So during the class, the professor will solve only the problems. He will not explain the concept. So students have to watch the video to understand the concept. Now let's discuss the most important part in the workshop, the library. All of the students are impressed by the libraries abroad. But why? Why are they satisfied about the libraries abroad? Because they have better illumination, better air conditioning, wonderful architecture and interior design, and they have the different types and shapes of chairs and tables, so you can study alone or with a book, or you can relax and read a book or magazine with a cup of tea. Moreover, the libraries contain cafeteria and many vending machines. So if you feel hungry or you want to refresh your mind with a cup of coffee, you don't need to go outside because there is a cafeteria inside. Also, they have computers and printers, and they are open 24 hours, even at the weekend. They provide the iPhone chargers and laptops for the students. Also, they provide TAs for some important courses, such as physics, chemistry, and math. So if you face some difficulties with physics, for example, you can ask one of the TAs inside the library. Last but not least, the Career Center. Career Center is an office providing a variety of services for students to help them find a career that will lead them to a successful and happy future. It helps the students making their CV. It prepares the students for job interviews. It provides part-time jobs opportunities, many part-time jobs for students. Also, it provides internship opportunities for freshman students to improve their knowledge about their major. And it organizes the Career Day at the university. They bring like more than 250 companies with more than 1,000 job opportunities. Now I will leave you with my colleague Ahmad Alqudaihi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmad Alqudaihi. I was an exchange student in Colorado School of Mines. Meanwhile, I am the mentor for Colorado School of Mines students, Colorado State University, and Notre Dame. Social experience is one of the most important aspects of the exchange program. And before I begin, I'm just curious. I want to know how many of you guys have gone to the West? Wow, that's a lot. So in this section, I'm going to talk about how to adapt a new culture and why traveling is important and some suggestions. I remember one time when I was in the bus, an old man came in and there is no free seats for him to sit. As a Saudi young man, seeing a man in an age of my grandfather, I stood up immediately and offered him my seat. He looked at me like he was insulting me. Then I go back to my seat and just have a deep thinking of the cultural difference. So what does culture mean? What is culture? Culture is the mental program that tells us what is an appropriate and not appropriate. What should we do and what we shouldn't do? Or what's the good behaviors and bad behaviors? It's different from place to place, country to country, and nation to another nation. Cultural difference is not a problem itself. The problem is the difficulty to adapt the new culture. And that's defined culture shock. So a lot of people think that culture shock just in the first day or the first week when you arrive to the United States. But unfortunately, it continues with some people until they leave back home. So, how to merge that culture? I have some guidelines. So, guys, if you have pen and paper, or I swear, that the sooner the better. So, don't wait until the end of the semester. Start socializing immediately. And respect the culture you're doing. So being one of them does not mean that you are just crossed your culture and your religion. Be yourself and don't change your identity. And there is a level of tips. I learned them from one basic to the fourth legendary. First one of them is just know your classmates. So from my experience, there's a lot of exchange students. They go there to the classes and just sit with their colleagues from KFUPM until the end of the semester. And at the end, they don't even know their classmates. So after like doing the class, you have to join a group study outside the classroom. This will give you another experience of studying with the others. Join some professional organizations that does not exist here in KFUPM will give you a very good experience and makes your CV better and widen your professional work network. Attending some events before the class begins, like the EMIC lines and Coral School of Mines, and as you see guys, Abdullah Khamour enjoying using their water gun on the freshmen. I'm sure in every university there is some events before the class begins, before the classes begins. So make sure guys to check them out. And there's some football matches, and believe it or not, if you go to a football match for university, not like for the professional leagues, first class, for your university team, you will find the stage or the students full like the Althagafi and Ahmad. I am not kidding. And the international office organizes some important events like the International Day or the I-Day. And one thing, guys, write it down. Don't forget your dough and water because you're gonna need them there. By the way, Saudi book wins for the last 4 years as the best boot out of 50 countries. And there's some international picnics and camping trips organized by the international office. And if you just dig more, you will find some other trips like this one. I do a trip to the Rocky Mountains for 3 days with American guys. I was the only Saudi there. I haven't speak Arabic for 3 days, and at the end of the day, I was able to live in English because my mind was just speaking in English. And there is some amazing adventures, trying new things like caving. I go to the heart of the caves with the caving clubs. And every university, from my experience, there is a lot of amazing adventures, not just for a school of mines, but you have just to check them. You have to just look for them. And you have the choice to hang out with amazing KFUPM students like Abdullah, Badr, and Bilal. But you have the choice to hang out with mixed group, with exchange and the others like with Wanzan, Imran, and Yaya, Juan, and Hamza. Or for easier pronunciation, you can hang out with Germans like Sebastian, Patrick, and Simon. And travel is just not seeing and other places. It is to join, accompany other people, and be introduced to another culture. And as a respect for my culture and showing the love with it, I decided to invite my American friends to enjoy kabsa. And not just that, I let them eat with their hands and يضربوا بالخمسة, as we say in Arabic. So, why traveling is important? From where should I be? Traveling is not about just discovering new places. It's an opportunity to discover yourself. To go out of your comfort zone and to gain some important experiences like learning, budgeting. And traveling is an art, especially for you guys because you will have low amount of money and short period of times, and you want to accomplish a lot of things during your trips. And I have some just suggestion for you. So there's traveling period, so for the term, but the problem is you don't have any money. And after the fall break, just like after 1 month, starting the classes, and you have some weekends that you have any like homeworks or exams after them, and the second fall break, and the big journey is at after you finish your classes and exams. And we used to have 1 month, but for you guys, you'll have just 2 weeks. So you have to plan well for it. And one advice for you guys, you have to go hiking and backpacking. And what does backpacking mean? It's just traveling with one backpack. First, I tried for 3 days, then I tried for 20 days. I discovered that one bag is more than enough. And you can do some amazing adventures like river rafting. This is some guys from Georgia Tech enjoying river rafting, or who want to try new things like river tubing, or who are just the winter games and there is nothing to do except skiing. Make sure to go skiing. And if you're a little bit brave, try the flyboarding. And if you are more brave and a little bit crazy, make sure to do the skydiving. And finally, don't forget to write something. Like Faisal Ayed, he wrote more than 50 articles about the exchange program. And make sure, guys, to check them out. It's not a paid advertisement, just for your benefit. So, leave you with my friend Nawaf Alharbi.
Okay, after we saw some academic experience and also the social experience, we would like to advise you or to show you or to let you expect that you will face some challenges. And in this part, we would like to suggest some solutions for those challenges. So the first challenge that you will face is the financial challenge. Now, for the last batch and the batch before, the first 30 to 40 days, you will not have any source of money. The Ministry of Education will give you the first allowance after 30 or 35 days. So what's the solution? One, you can take your allowance in advance from KFUPM, from 5,000 to 7,000. You can borrow it from KFUPM. And also, be sure that when you go, try to have at least 10,000 riyals in your pocket. So you can work in the summer, you can borrow through family. Just try to go and you have 10,000 riyals in your pocket. The second challenge is the accommodation, or where are you going to stay. Now, generally, you will see a lot of places with a rent which is above $1,000, and also a deposit, which is that mean you pay it in the beginning for the place, and it's also above $1,000. I will let the solution of this challenge to you. However, I have only two advices. Try to find a rent less than $800, or maybe approximately $800, and a low deposit. So you can enjoy, you can go and travel, and you can do some adventure. Also, you may face natural disasters. Last semester, Irma hurricane, who came to Florida, and all the students from Florida, they came to us in Georgia. So the best solution is that just follow the Saudi Embassy account on Twitter and Facebook, and you can see the evacuation plans and their news. At the end, we would like to give you some achievements to motivate you. And my goal is to make you better than us, and I would like to motivate you to be better than our batch. So the first achievement is in this course. It's an academic achievement. And EE report, which is the hardest or toughest course in the EE curriculum, I believe. 7 of the students, they got 100 out of 100 in the first or in the midterm. And all of them, they got strike A's in Georgia Tech. So this is, it only happens once a time. And the average was 70. So 100 and average 70, this is great. Students who went to Korea, of course, they may face some problems or some challenges with the Korean language. However, our friends who went to Korea, they learned actually the Korean language, and they can say they took a picture. Also, volunteering in education. Students from Arizona and Colorado, they teach it children Arabic language and math. And that's a nice thing, volunteering, of course. Also, soccer. We are the best players in America. Not in the world, but in America. Because they play football and we play soccer. So, Colorado School of Mines, they got the first place in Colorado Championship, and also in Arizona. And you can see Ziad Al-Hazmi, I believe he's one of the best players in KFUPM. He was the leader. Losing weight. One of my friends, Salman Al-Qahtani, I believe the picture is better than $100 or $1,000. So yeah. Ambassador of your religion and country, a friend who went to Syracuse University. He is Abdullah Al-Ammar. He was a great example, and he was a great example. And one of his friends, the Americans, actually he converted to Islam, and I quote from his message. And I quote from him, "It was your courage, humility, and devotion that ultimately inspired me to follow my heart and take the next step with my faith." So you are ambassadors. You will be examples, and our goal is to make you better than us. So when you go and be an example of your country, of your university, and of yourself, try to be the best example to show the world. At the end, I would like to acknowledge all the people who worked behind the scenes: Dr. Khalid Sultan, Dr. Samir Dayad, Dr. Nadir Al-Baghli, and Mr. Lyson and Mr. Imtiaz.